Travis dropping funny one-liners before we go on the air. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? I don't know what we call this show, but I know it's Run Pure Sports, and I know we got a big slate here on Independence Day where we get to say, screw you to the rest of the world. We're the best. We're better than you. For all our faults, we still love you. Baseball, it's wonderful. I'm not as big an apple pie guy, JT. What's the other one? Baseball, apple pie, and something else. What's going on?
Man, happy 4th of July. You're right. We are still free right now, at least for today, and we can celebrate that. And it's a special Sunday here, Holden, because usually it's me, you, and Scotty G. Rising, and I love those shows. But anytime we get a special guest appearance by Sweet Travis, the maker of the cash chart, Travis may go. Travis, put on your visor that you're going to wear to the volleyball court today. And
you son of a bitch! You just made me spit coffee everywhere. You son of a bitch!
I told you, he's got to
Sweet.
He is forever. I'm not going to refer to him as anything else. Every time I type his name, it's going to be Sweet Travis because it was just a spur of the moment thing. I said it, and it stuck. What's going on? How are things on Narrative Street?
Yeah, things are good. So I'll explain. So I was at Target the other day shopping, right? Going around trying to get some food for the 4th. We got a nice little party at my friend's house. They got like 18 acres of land, a lot of people. It's a good time. So we're out there shopping, and of course, my friend says, let's get a cart. And I said, getting a cart at Target is a bad idea because you'll just buy stuff you don't need. So we stumble upon the 4th of July section, and I said, let me just buy some stupid 4th of July stuff. We bought some fireworks, bought a couple other things. And then I figured, JT, how great would this visor look, just on the 4th of July? I mean, it looks so stupid. I'm on the volleyball court. It's a great visor, it's absolutely ridiculous. It looks like Holden's 8-year-old grandma wears it. I just thought it was too good. I had to buy it for $1. It's just a nice joke.
I mean, it looks like something you get from one of those, what do they call those places?
Gay pride parades? The gay pride parade. Listen, I took part, my uncle, I walked with him in the gay pride parade. You would fit right in, my friend. You look terrific this morning. Very attractive.
And Holden, there's nothing wrong with that. We encourage that here.
That's why I said I marched in it. I saw a whole bunch of people that looked like Travis. I'll say he would fit right in. He looks great.
Would fit right in.
Yep. Put some sparklers on your nipples. Let's get going. Let's go. Baseball time. And now that I've made you both uncomfortable, and that's what I'm here for. Pitching is what I want to start with today. And we got the bet show. If you haven't checked out the bet show is right after this one, but it's on the bet side. So hit the like button and subscribe. That's the first thing. Hit the like button and subscribe. And the second thing is, holy shamoly, last night, and Big T, JT, Big T does not like the Sweet Travis thing. No, I called him Sweet Travis on the show. Big T's like, but let's not forget, this is the teacher's pet right now. Travis is the teacher's pet. You can't say anything demeaning about Travis. So you should stop calling him Sweet Travis. Stop it.
It's empowering.
Stop.
He likes it.
It's not empowering. Look, you forced the guy to wear a visor.
Somebody said put it on. He put it on.
I got the visor on. I mean, it's Holden. There's nothing more alpha than wearing this visor all day long.
No, there's nothing more alpha than this coffee mug that I drink every morning, my Minnie Mouse. Now, well, maybe you and I should hang out, Travis. So anyways, lots going on. Last night on the Showdown side, thanks to JSU and Big T for hopping on live. Everybody was just hitting them. Members are crushing Showdowns. We still got the NBA Finals. This could be our last chance, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to just crush on Showdown. It really has been happening so often lately. So make sure you sign up. Our PS Heater 25 is the promo code. Hit the like button, and let's get into this show today. JT, we'll start at pitcher. What are you doing with Garrett Cole?
Yeah, he gets a great matchup against a Mets team that is near the bottom of the league in just every offensive category. Near the bottom of the league in run creation over the last 2 weeks. Those are the pros. The cons are he's 10-6 and it's a 7-inning game. Now, with the way that the Yankees pen has been used, you could see a legitimate chance here for Garrett Cole going all 7 if he's right. That's another big if because he hasn't really been all that right over the course of the last 2 weeks. He did have a good game against Minnesota. Tampa Bay got to him a bit. So I think he's in play, but at that price, it just depends on roster construction. The offenses I think that we're going to want are going to have some higher dollar pieces here, but there are some lower guys there. Pitching today, actually, I think feels to me, it's pretty loaded. I think you can go with, honestly, 5 or 6 guys and feel pretty comfortable. You got Freddie Peralta. You've got Giolito going for the White Sox. And then, of course, everyone knows how much I love Charlie Morton. And I've been off Morton a lot this year. I hated the signing, and that's more from the standpoint of being a Braves fan and watching them sign guys like Cole Hamels and Felix Hernandez, who are at the end of the career. And I feel the same way about Morton, except recently he's been throwing the ball very hard, up in the upper 90s, actually. The challenge here is, for me personally, the way I see this slate in this game, I ordinarily like to target pitching Atlanta on Sundays. This Marlins team should have done better against Drew Smyly Friday. They should have done better yesterday against a rookie who's been pitching well over his minor league results. And they just haven't been striking out a lot against right-handed pitching. But at 7-8, I think definitely Charlie Morton is in the mix. And I think the guy opposite him in that game, Zach Thompson, is also in the mix for the Marlins against the Braves team that just hasn't been hitting outside of that one game this week where they exploded against right-handed pitching. Other guys, Kenta Maeda is very cheap here at 6.2. He's been terrible all year long. And the price is interesting on Tyler Anderson at 7.2. The matchup is absolutely not against a red-hot Brewers team. So I'm not sure if there's anybody I left out, but I think maybe Blake Snell is one guy too with 8K. I normally don't play him on the road, but Philly has been towards the bottom of the league in run creation and tops in the league against left-handed pitching and strikeout rate over the last couple of weeks at 24%. So that's kind of where I see pitching.
So what was your take on Garrett Cole again? You going to pitch him or not?
I don't know yet. I think no doubt he's got probably the second best matchup on the slate. And it's just a price point and whether or not you think that he can go all 7. Because if he goes all 7 and gets you that complete game bonus, if he does really well and doesn't allow a run and gets you that extra, I think it's 4 or 5 points on DraftKings, now you're talking about a guy that maybe should be in all your lineups.
Travis, happy America Day, buddy. I actually now respect the visor. I like how you bent it. Did it come that way or not?
Oh, it came this way. I mean, I tried to bend it a little better so you could see the stars, but it's a little difficult to see it from your angle. But when you're in person, I mean, it's a beauty.
Oh no, I see the stars, Travis. They look good. They do look good. And I'll definitely be your wingman if you could wear that out to a bar. There would no doubt about it. We would clean up. What are you doing with Cole? What's your pitching pool?
Yeah, so I'm actually playing. I'm channeling my energy rising. I'm mainly playing FanDuel today, and I kind of got the. I know, Holden. You're a little upset by that, but I think FanDuel's good. I like it a lot more, and I wanted to play there. But it is a good day on DK, right? I think that there are 2 good pitchers that you can go to. Like, you have more than 2. You definitely have options. I don't want to go to Garrett Cole necessarily. I think that Charlie Morton for me is like my number 1. Now, JT, I know it's tough to hear me say Charlie Morton's my number 1. No, this is not Draft Cheat on the show, but I do like what Draft Cheat said. I mean, Draft Cheat talked a little bit about how he's mixed up his pitches and they've changed a bunch. And I think that's part of the success, and it's against the Marlins. So I'm in on Charlie Morton. He's my favorite guy, and he's my favorite guy even on FanDuel at 9.0, right? I also think Freddie Peralta is probably my number 2 on FanDuel, and he's probably my number 2 on DK as well. I'm not a huge believer in Giolito right now with obviously the sticky stuff. And I know it's the Tigers, but that team has been hitting a lot better. I know the Pirates, I don't trust that team. It's a great ballpark, right? So I think Freddie Peralta, Charlie Morton, if I was doing a DK core today, that would be my core pitchers. That's exactly where I would go. And if you needed the salary, I understand going like the Zach Thompson route, but I'm just someone that when I typically build out my teams, when I play tournaments, I like to throw in, a guy in like the 8-hole or the 7-hole, because those are typically the difference makers that get you home. I like to look within my stacks of trying to find some of those cheaper guys that are going to be unowned. And I typically look at positions that I'm going to punt, and I think I can just get in those 2 arms and I don't need to punt my second pitcher. I just don't think that's the appropriate approach on this slate and most slates. So for me, Peralta, Morton are probably my two favorites on DK. I don't love Giolito. I'm indifferent on Robbie Ray. I think that the upside is there for the strikeouts, but there is always downside with Robbie Ray, and those Rays can obviously get it going quickly. So I think overall I'd rank them Morton as my number 1, Peralta my number 2, Ray 3. I'd go Giolito 4, and then maybe Cole 5, and just because I don't want to pay the price tag, but I have not built that much on DK. So that's kind of my overall breakdown there. And then FanDuel, it's Morton 1 and Peralta 2.
All right. Yeah, we got an all-star crew on the FanDuel course today. We got Mangone, we got Hoop. Hoop is actually doing this. Hoop, still never a sincere thank you for you for taking your Sunday shift. Now, I get it. I wanted to do this and have Mondays off, but it would have been nice. Second of all, are you going to make a surprise appearance? Third of all, best ball. I mean, the content has begun. Simon and Bobby Gomes on it too. Simon's been putting out some he put out a pretty cool best ball show. And guess what? We're going to have a show for you. It's going to be PumaCom, the Simon. It's going to be JSU, and it'll be me. And we're going to be doing some best ball content for you. So our first drafting vid is posted now, and best ball content starting up very, very soon. And don't forget to hit the like button, because we woke up on America's birthday to do this show for you. You could at least be nice. JT, how many beers? We've had a question in the chat. How many beers will you be hammering today?
And it depends. It depends, because I got to do a video every Sunday night, so I've got to record a Mayo video, and I like to be in good shape for that. So it probably won't be a lot. Tomorrow, different story maybe.
How many did you have yesterday? Looks like you had a few.
I don't know. I hate to put a number on it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It wasn't a lot.
Travis, what are you doing alcohol, drugs wise for the 4th of July?
I mean, Holden, I'm ready to go. I mean, I'll tell you this: if you hit me up at Discord after 1, like, you're not getting a message probably. I'm going to be outside, running around, having a good time. I'm going to be drinking. I got the high noons. I got the seltzers, the Bud Light seltzers as well. I got these ice pops, the Truly ice pops. You throw them in the freezer, Holden, and then you pull them out, and they're alcoholic ice pops. I mean, what is better than that, Holden?
I don't know. JT, what is better than that? I'm not a drinker. What's better than that?
I can't imagine much down at the Jersey Shore there where Travis is. You got that visor, you got the ice pops to give out. I mean, it's just like a creepy guy having candy. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean,
it's like a creepy guy having candy. Okay.
I'm not only sweet, I'm also creepy, as they say, Jason.
Sweet Travis. Sweet creepy Travis.
Sweet creepy Travis.
All right, let's move on. JT, we've been kind of doing the stacks thing, and I think we should, but let's just go position by position. I think we'll figure out the stacks as we go. Let's try that out. So we'll start at the boring position first, catcher. And if you have the extra money, why would you not take a shot on Zunino against Robbie Ray? Zunino crushes lefties. He's been hitting the ball really well. What's your take on Zunino, and who's in your player pool?
Yeah, I think in that game you've got Zunino. Then down lower in the 9 hole, you got Danny Jansen, who's back for the Blue Jays. Jansen very good against left-handed pitching, and I am not a believer in Ryan Yarborough's talent. And we know what Toronto's offense is like. Zach Collins in that game for the White Sox against Matt Manning of the Tigers. I like that. You've got Jason Castro for the Astros, and maybe Jeffers for Minnesota. Ryan Jeffers looks like he's in the 7 hole for Minnesota at just 3.9 against the Royals. Travis, any other guys that you see there? Maybe Real Muto at 4.0 against Snell. So it's the lowest price point I can remember seeing on JT this season.
What do we got on his price tag, Real Muto, today?
4.0 on DraftKings.
Yeah, that is cheap for him. I mean, I typically love to spend down, right? You get Jason Castro at 2.8 that I'm sure a lot of people are going to go to because it's Cal Quantrill, right? He's in the 5 hole. That's like the cash game option, I would say. But if you have the salary, like I like the Real Muto call, but I really like Wilson Contreras. I do love that ballpark in Cincinnati. It's great American small park, right? For a reason. Lots of home runs can be hit. And Contreras, he's a guy, I mean, JT, he's 5.1K on DK, right? But on FanDuel, he's 2.6K. Like, And it's because people don't love playing catchers. And I think that's someone I'm going to strongly consider over there on FanDuel. And I think he's a really good play on DK as well at that 5.1K price tag. People are just not going to want to spend on him if they don't have the salary, right? So I like going to him against the lefty and Wade Miley. I'm not too scared of him. I know he's like decent at limiting the damage at times, but if he blows up, he blows up. And I think this Cubs stack is kind of interesting on this slate. So Wilson Contreras is definitely someone at the catcher position that, yeah, if you got the money, I kind of think he's my favorite option overall raw points wise.
All right, shout out to Nuggets. He said he only drinks rye. Now, I've had this for almost 3 years, and you see how much has been drunk. But this is the only alcohol in my house, Nuggets. I'll only drink rye and bullet rye to be specific. So I'm with you, buddy. That's the only thing. We don't go with these popsicles. We don't go with these beers or seltzers. We drink the real stuff once every 3 years is when it goes down. And it's usually about a shot and a half.
I mean, the people in Discord are interested in some of Mangone's popsicles. So
I don't blame them.
What's that? Yeah.
I might have to, when I'm passing them out, take a picture, send the video. I might have to let the people know.
If you want a Travis video of him throwing a popsicle down his throat, feel free to hit the like button. And maybe
I'll say this, Alden, let me go on a rant, right? The 4th of July is when the true baseball people are out, right? JT, like the guys who are grinding DFS, like your Joe Schmo is already at some 4th of July party, right? They're watching the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, something like that. The true are here, right? 259, and we only have 74 likes. I mean, that's just, how hurtful is that, JT? My feelings are just hurt right now.
It doesn't feel good. It feels like a number that doesn't get the place. Honestly, that's what it feels like.
Doesn't get the play, doesn't get the Eiffel Tower, doesn't get the dry hump, doesn't get anything.
No.
Travis, can you promise them you'll send a video of you eating a popsicle that has alcohol in it if we get to 150 likes?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I mean, all I want the loyal to, when we have these shows where there's not as many people, I want the loyal to just smash that like button. You know what I mean? That's what I'm here for.
It's July. It's July. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Rusty, happy 4th of July. I hope you have your fingers blown off by fireworks tonight. How you doing there, pal? Just a shout out for Rusty. Don't know if he heard that or not, but Rusty, you got 10 of them. I hope 3 fall off. So let's get to our next position today. Do you agree, JT? Yeah?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's go to the next position, which would be first base this morning. I wasn't kidding about the fingers thing, by the way, Rusty. So it's going to come down to stacks and stuff, but where are you going, JT? I mean, I don't know why you would one off first base, but is it as easy as just going up to Guerrero or a Rizzo or a Freeman, or do you want to get crazy and go down to like a Patrick Wisdom today? What do you got?
You could go down to Wisdom, obviously. Wisdom, a ton of power, and he gets the lefty Wade Miley. I don't often look to stack against Wade Miley, and the Cubs have been not as productive against left-handed pitching lately. I do think Guerrero is a great play. You're obviously going to pay for him at 5'8". You're going to pay for Abreu at 5'2". But you've got Joey Votto against Kyle Hendricks. Votto hit a home run yesterday. He seems to have gotten it going. Travis pointed out that park there, it's going to be 90 degrees with about an 8-mile-per-hour wind blowing out to center field in Cincinnati. And sometimes on Sunday afternoons, we could see explosions here in this park, and how appropriate on the 4th of July. So Votto at 4.2 is a nice price point if you're looking to go some Reds. You've got Alex Kirilloff in the 5-hole for Minnesota. That lineup's out now against Brad Keller, who has really had a rough time getting it going this year. And then in that game as well, you've got Santana at 4-1 against Maeda, and then O'Hearn 3-2 against Maeda. Maeda, again, the price point very low, but man, he's been just dreadful this season.
All right. So where are you doing with this, man? Where are we going, pal?
Yeah, so Freddie Freeman is always a good option at the top, even though, again, it's Zach Thompson. But if you have the salary to spend, he's perfectly fine. I prefer Jose Abreu at the top. I was very disrespectful to my White Sox yesterday. They were against a lefty, right? They were against the chalk lefty on the slate, and I did not play them. And it's Matt Manning on the mound, right? And Matt Manning JT, can you give a little breakdown of how bad he is? And then we got the Detroit bullpen behind him. Like Jose Abreu maybe has not been crushing the ball. You can also have Gavin Sheets, who's a great option, but like how bad is Matt Manning, JT?
Yeah, Manning by the numbers is probably one of the 2 or 3 worst pitchers on the slate. Again, we talk about this with a lot of these clubs this year with injuries. Manning is a guy who was not brought up to the major leagues because they think he's ready. He was brought up to the major leagues because they're simply out of arms. So he's learning on the fly in big league baseball, and it's not going so well as you would expect. He's given up a lot of hard contact. He's given up a lot of home runs, most home runs per 9 innings on this slate in a small sample. I think the White Sox are easily one of the top 2 or 3 stacks on the slate.
Yeah,
so, I mean, Jose Abreu is a guy I'm just going to go to, right? Like he is going to be one of the top options, I think. But on FanDuel, right? It's a little different because again, I like the catcher at first base, and I think utility is a good way to use that today. I think it's a pretty loaded position. Also, depending on the lineup, I don't know if it's came out yet. Like Andrew Vaughn is in play. There's a lot of different options there that you can play at that catcher first base position on a site like FanDuel, and then. Again, Jose Abreu is probably my top spin up. I like the Votto call by JT though. Votto's been playing a little bit better, and Kyle Hendricks, I don't know what to think of him. He's been playing a lot better this year, so I'm kind of torn on how to stack up those Reds today, if it's a good or bad idea. But my 3 stacks that I'm kind of looking at are like Reds, Cubs, and like White Sox. Those are kind of the 3 offenses that, as we kind of go on throughout the show, you'll see that I'm kind of targeting.
That's my take on the bet show. We got the bet show coming up on the bet side. If you haven't added the bet side, get bets. It's $20 for the month. Basically, if you haven't signed up for Rub Your Sports on the DFS side, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's $80 a month, but then for just $20, you get the bet side. Joey Work, JJ, all these guys have been crushing it. Keg in his live shows during the NFL season. Keg and Mangone and myself, we do a show on the RPS side. So the bet side's awesome. Also, shout out to my guy, Rusty. You know, he wasn't taking a personal shot this morning at a cranky Kushner. He was just saying my volume was too high. So I lowered the volume there, and hopefully it's better for you, Rusty. I now hope all your extremities stay there. To the one guy that was complaining about that comment, I now hope that you have a rough 4th of July. I hope you keep all your extremities, but you drink too much. So it's time to get to second base, JT. You think you're the badass, JT. I've got to step my game up with you.
That was quite the unprovoked attack. I was impressed. I
was provoked.
Apparently not, if you had to apologize.
Well, yeah. Rusty and I go way back. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we're good pals.
We'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Second base.
Second base.
Are you just going to come out firing and tell me to play Danny Mendick as a one-off?
I don't know if I'd play Danny Mendick as a one-off, but he's certainly in play as part of that White Sox stack. I mean, Travis and I were talking about this before the show, and I think you mentioned this, Holden. It's that these White Sox guys, because of injuries, got a bunch of guys that they brought up on the offensive side to the major leagues. Now, Mendick's not one of them, but nobody knows who these guys are, and they just continue to hit. I mean, Billy Hamilton is hitting. He hit the ball well yesterday. Mendick's a guy who actually, I remember probably about a month ago, he was in one of Big T's scores, and someone said, as usual, imagine playing Danny Mendick, and boom, he pops off for the first home run of the game. So definitely think he's in play. I like Semien, who's leading off for Toronto at 5.3. Laurie Garcia hit a home run yesterday in that White Sox lineup. He's right in the middle there in the 5 hole at just 3.2. On DraftKings, you've got Altuve leading off against a bad pitcher in Cleveland. He's pricey. Jonathan India leading off for the Reds at 4.3 in that game. And you've got Luis Arias, who not a lot of power, but he can steal a bunch of bases, leading off at 3.6. And then Polanco in that same game at 4.2. And then one guy, like I said, I think Snell's price is okay. I think the matchup is okay. But John Segura back for the Phillies leading off at 3.3 if you needed a potential cash game play.
These gifts in the baseball chat, these guys are just too much, man. We seriously have the best. We got the best subscribers. There can't be anybody funnier. All these gifts. I mean, sweet, creepy Travis is dressed like Captain America. I mean, this is amazing. Absolutely amazing stuff, sweet creepy Travis. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Danny Mendick is not in the lineup today. Thank you for getting the joke. All right, let's hear it, Travis. Who's at second, pal?
Yeah, so second base, it's not my favorite position on this slate. There's some options. I feel like we have to talk about the Twins second baseman because you got Jorge Polanco, you got Luis Ariz. They are going to be two guys that you can roster at the second base position. I like them. I don't mind the Twins today, but again, they're that team that like almost every slate I'm like, okay, they have a good run total. They're in play. I might stack them up, and then I just don't go to them, and they never burn me. So it feels like that might be what happens again today, but they are going against Brad Keller, and Brad Keller is not very good. But yeah, I think you have to mention those guys, at least in the cash game formats. So I think they're decent salary savers because a lot of the second basemen I'm looking at, they're a bit pricier. I'll start. So I started from the bottom of the cheaper guys. We'll keep going up. Jonathan India is definitely in play against Hendricks in that one hole. I've been playing him a bunch, and he's definitely been good to me, so I'll go back to him. Even though I love the White Sox, I won't just be playing Lurie Garcia out of nowhere. Lurie Garcia got his home run yesterday. I will not be chasing that one. He is the worst to roster. But at the top, I mean, you can't sleep on Jose Altuve, right? Like, I mean, if you do want to have a one-off here or there, and you have the salary for it, right? I saw some people in chat, they're saying, I want to play Morton, and I want to play Zach Thompson. Then you'll have some money for a guy like a Jose Altuve. So don't be afraid to spend up at this position if you want to. Again, it's not my favorite spot on this slate today.
Shout out to Dakota Simpkins, who said he could never get a shout out. I said, say something funny, but he said he's just a fat old bald man. And I'll say this, Dakota, just hang in there, dude. Everything has cycles. Sooner than later, fat old bald men are going to be attractive to probably fat old bald women as well. It's going to be a great day for you, pal. It's going to be a great day. JT, what's so humorous?
I can't believe that Travis just slandered Lurie Garcia. It's very hurtful.
He did. Lurie Garcia just hit a home run for me the other day.
Yes, but that's what happens, Holden. When you stack against when you take the pitcher against the White Sox, that's the chalk, you get absolutely spat on by a Lurie Garcia home run.
You should.
I mean, it was disrespectful what I did yesterday, and I'm not going to play Lurie Garcia again, hoping for a home run. It just
who in particular did you disrespect?
What?
Who'd you disrespect particularly?
I disrespected my White Sox. I mean, they're my guys. Like, they're the team I play all the time. And I sat here, and not only Holden, you sit here for like months and months waiting for the leverage opportunity of the White Sox against the lefty.
Correct.
We wait for it, and I'm an idiot, and I say, oh, I'm going to play Scooball instead. I mean, I just feel like a donkey for it, Holden.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Ryan, the captain's in here now. Now we just went to hell. Not really bald, just fat. Dakota, you said you were bald and fat, which is why I gave you the shout out. If you're not. So anyways, let's just move on here. Let me get back on track. It's a 4th of July show. It's after a holiday. It was a crazy night last night. Focus, Kushner, focus. Like and subscribe, please. That'd be very nice, especially for Sweet Travis. This is the guy here that really pushes the likes. Don't cross Travis on this. Travis, at least one more time this show is going to tell you to hit the like button, and probably in a way that will force you to do so, which I like.
I could say it the way our boy JJ says it, right? 2 thumbs up.
Up.
Like he'll be doing on the bets video shortly.
Correct. Are you hopping on the bet side today?
I don't think so. I have a bunch to do. I mean, you guys start at 12. I got to do that. I got to finish up the cash chart. I got to do.
I think it was more that you didn't get invited, but
he's got to get his popsicles. He's got to get his popsicles ready to take to the shore.
So let me say this. NBA, for those of you that play or don't even play, and you've just hopped on board during Showdown season, holy moly, has it been profitable. NBA Showdown, Big T has just been smashing it. JSU's right there with them. Subscribe today. We got 4 to 7 games in the NBA, and these guys it's not even close. Like every night you see guys at the top of the leaderboard. I mean, I'm even having big success. It's JSU and Tony, final countdown. You get last minute thoughts too. We'll run it free once a week, I think, but you're going to want the other games too. It's just too good of stuff. So RPS Heater 25, that's the code. Get in. Let's go. You know what, Travis? You are looking sweet today. Give me some third base plays before we get to JT. Why don't you take the lead on third base? Maybe even shortstop. Who knows how lucky you are?
All right, I could take the lead on third base here. There is one guy that sticks out to me a ton, right? That I think I want to be playing on a lot of my lineups. It's Mr. Chris Bryant there against Wade Miley. And let me pull up the BVP numbers for you, Holden, because people love the BVP, right? It's a fun conversation. You either love it or hate it. You get all the engagements. And I'm stalling, so I can pull it up right now, Holden. But I remember seeing it was pretty good today.
This is what, Travis, this is what happens. You get the honor of going first, and you're just not prepared for it. JT, what do we do here?
No, I got it. Listen.
Oh, you gotta let him go. Once he starts talking about BVP.
All right. Hit it, Travis.
All of the analytics. Tell me what Chris Bryant did against Wade Miley when he was a rookie in 2004, because that is wholly relevant to what he's going to do today. Let's hear it.
JT, the people want it. They demand it. Just like the narratives, it's a must, right? So Chris Bryant, 7 for 16 with 2 home runs. He does have 7 strikeouts. So
I'm tingly.
This guy is Mr. First or Last, right? I mean, he's either
going to
DraftKings
DraftKings to put him in every lineup now. Just lock him in. 7 for 16.
Hey, don't sleep on Chris Bryant. I'll say this too, JT. I don't know if you noticed, he hit a home run yesterday. He's getting a little hot. I mean,
can't play him according to your logic. Can't play him. Him and Laurie Garcia. I don't now. I don't care about the BVP. They're out. They're out of my lineups.
So yeah, Chris Bryant, I think he's in play today. I don't know if people are talking about Josh Donaldson. I don't want to play him that much, but if you're playing the twin stack, I understand. Another guy in that game that I would consider going to is Eugenio Suarez, right? I think he's a good way if you're making that red stack to be different. He gives you a little bit of salary saving as well. And then one more guy in that Cubs game. If you want to fade the Chris Bryant BVP, go ahead. We don't have BVP on this one for you, JT. I'm sorry, but Mr. Patrick Wisdom, he's been mashing the ball, right? The smaller ballpark against the lefty. I wouldn't ignore him. He's definitely someone that can help make your Cub stacks a little bit different, JT.
Yeah, and you can play Wisdom. You can play Brian in the outfield. You can play Wisdom at first. You can actually pair them together. You get the one guy with great BVP. You get the one guy with none, which we know is just a complete risk. So have at it.
So that's your analysis? Is that the whole position breakdown from you? Kind of feel better now that I went to Travis first.
Oh, you want more from me?
No,
I mean, my turn.
I don't want you giving bad advice, just making things up. It's like just.
Well, JT, we like the White Sox. Can you go to some Jake Berger at 2.1 in like your White Sox stacks? I mean, the salary savings on him, I don't know if he's the next Wander Franco or anything, but hey, 2.1K is a really cheap price tag. I don't know if that's going to be like 4 or 5 in like 2 days.
Yeah, no, I think you can at 2-1. Obviously, I think they're in a great spot. We've talked about that against Matt Manning. I feel like we're not talking at all about the San Diego Padres against Vince Velasquez, and this is a really good offensive lineup in a really good park. The weather, it's going to be a little cooler there today. It's in the mid-70s in Philadelphia, but I think you can look at that whole top to bottom of that lineup if you wanted to stack up the Padres against Velasquez. He's been a little bit better of late, but obviously gives up a ton of power, in particular right-handed batters. Outside of
let me just say real quick.
Yep.
There is no Donaldson today.
Yep.
In the lineup. We don't have to worry about him. Okay. So that's one guy we can get out of there. I don't know if you want to go to, I don't know if you want to go to Arise. You mentioned Arise earlier, but he's playing third today. I don't even know if he's third base eligible. Is he? Like he's probably
not on DraftKings. He's second base, outfield.
Probably just throwing him over there. All right. Sorry for the interruption. Also, the Houston lineup sucks, but yeah, no Donaldson.
I mean, it seems like every day people say the Houston lineup sucks, and every day they put up a bunch of runs. So Abraham Toro, 3-3 at third base in that lineup. I would only play him in a full Houston stack, but he's actually been playing pretty well. For the Reds against Hendricks, Eugenio Suarez at 4.0. He's in the 6 hole. If you wanted to pick on the greatest pitcher of all time, Charlie Morton, we know how great Charlie is, right? But John Birdie actually in the leadoff spot. Where teams have been successful against Morton, they've been able to get on base and rattle him on the bases. And Birdie is a guy with a ton of speed. I don't know that I'll go there myself, but 3-1 leadoff spot. Interesting spot there. And then Hunter Dozier against Kenta Maeda. Maeda giving up a ton of home runs this year. He's just 2-9 down in the 6 hole in that game in Kansas City.
Okay. I'm just looking around here. Okay, here's the deal. How many likes do we need, Travis? You want to set the bar? I said 150, but we're at 136. Probably got about 20 minutes left in the show. Do you want to recalibrate here? You're kind of like the likes guru. You and Hoop threaten these people to where they feel obligated to do so.
I mean, listen, it's the 4th of July. JT, I'll ask you, should we be kind or should we push the limit here to 175? What are you thinking here, JT?
I mean, on the one hand, it's Sunday, the 4th of July. It's a sleepy day, but we got up. We did our research. We're here talking about the slate, trying to interact with people, even the people who are hurtful. 303 people watching, only 139 likes. It's just not good.
We need 175. I got the visor on, right? I wasn't even supposed to be on this show till 15 minutes ago or before we started the show. So yeah, I want to get this home. Let's get to 175. That's the goal, I think, here.
Oh, you're such a martyr. Thank you for sacrificing today to come. You know who loves working with me? JT. I don't think there's any question. JT just loves working with me. Look at that smile, that cherubic smile on his face. Thank you, JT. Thank you for making me feel wanted today.
I mean, like I said at the top, anytime I get to sit with you and sweet Travis, it's just
it's a good team.
It's a day. It's a day that makes me happy, joyful.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a good day today. Travis is bringing good mojo. Again, made fun of the visor off the top. The more I see it, the closer I want to sit to Travis. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
I love that visor.
No doubt about it. That should not just be a 4th of July thing. Travis, sweet Travis, sweet creepy Travis. Shortstop, my friend. Let's do shortstop today. Where are we going? Can we just throw Tatis in there at 6.1K? What are you doing, man?
Yeah, I mean, so JT brought up a great point earlier, right? JT was like, okay, like we're not playing the Padres. Like, what's going on? It's Vincent Velasquez in that small ballpark. So yeah, don't ignore Fernando Tatis. I mean, he is an awesome option. If I have the salary, I would love to get up to him, but it's definitely tough to get up there. Timmy Anderson is definitely someone in my pool at that 5.1K. Definitely gonna be looking at him. 4-9 on DK. Javier Baez against the lefty. You talk about dudes who love the win games, right? Like Javier Baez loves swinging for the fences when there's those Chicago win games. This dude in Cincinnati with the 10 miles per hour blowing out, hot day. Javi Baez, 3-5 on FanDuel too. Timmy Anderson, 3-5. That's going to be a tough decision for me. And hey, on FanDuel, I could just play both, right? I could shortstop and utility, throw them in there. That's definitely an option on this slate. And those are like really the three guys I'm looking to go to. I get it, like Jorge Polanco, but I'd rather play him at second base. We talked about him a little bit earlier, but I just think this is a position like you want to spend your salary today. I think you're going to get some really big scores at the shortstop position. So I don't want to be spending down, I think, at shortstop today.
All right. So who's your guy? Who's your number one guy?
I'd say number one is going to be Javi Baez, followed by Timmy Anderson. But it's like 1A, 1B for me, right? Like I could see myself flip-flopping. It depends on what stack I'm doing. And then Fernando Tatis, I'll put it 3 just because of the salary, right? That's kind of my 1, 2, 3. And you can make an argument like I'm not going to sleep on Carlos Correa, Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien. There's just so many guys that you can put at that position. So it's a loaded spot. I think you want to be spending above 4, 6 or more at this position today.
JT, do you like Star Wars?
Honestly, I've never seen a single minute of a Star Wars movie.
No, because every time I see Boba Fett, I think I call him Boba Fett, like he's Boba Fett. But you wouldn't get the joke.
No.
Because you've never seen Star Wars. Let me guess.
I'll pretend I do.
Yeah, you watch Harry Potter with your wife just randomly. Is that correct?
No Harry Potter.
I saw half of a Harry Potter. I thought that movie sucked, to be honest with you. That's garbage. Flying around on a broomstick. What a joke. I don't know where we are now, JT, so just pick it up. Probably in the outfield. Unless you
we're finishing up shortstop, and I have a question for Travis because we like to talk about the plays, and I like it when we're on the same page. And I'm not hearing you talk about any Blue Jays, and it's a good game environment. It's a good opposing pitcher. And we've talked about this week, right? Where we've seen some things out of that Tampa Bay bullpen that was so good for so long that they're struggling with the lack of substances to be able to use to grip the ball. We've seen their bullpen give up some runs here this week. You've got Ryan Yarbrough, who usually has a short leash and has, outside of a couple of games, hasn't been good this year. I I kind of like the Blue Jays. I want to hear why you don't like the Blue Jays and why you're prioritizing these other teams.
I shouldn't say I don't like the Blue Jays. It's just there's a lot of good offenses, right? So you can't play them all. You got to kind of take some stands. If you like the Blue Jays, I wouldn't talk you off them, right? I mean, I wouldn't say, hey, like this is a bad play or anything like that. I guess it's just the way I'm allocating out my salary and the way I'm kind of doing everything. They don't currently fit right now. Now, I haven't built too many teams, but they're definitely a team that, like, if I was building out, right, and I made one team and then as I'm building, sometimes you're building teams and like it just doesn't fit, right? The positions don't add up. And then sometimes you're like, okay, one of my secondary stacks, let me see if that fits. If they fit in there, I would maybe go over to them, but they are pricey, right, JT? I mean, they do cost a lot. So if you're doing more of like a spend down approach, especially on DraftKings, they make more sense than there, because in order to play all those big bats, you have to spend down. And a lot of guys that are spending up for like 2 pitchers, they just can't make Blue Jay stacks work, right? And if they do, they have to take some like cheaper punt options that could be riskier, or maybe like, I don't know what the Blue Jays lineup is right now. I don't know if it's out, but like Reese McGuire is a guy who's typically in there at 2.4K. Right?
Everyone's in there, Travis.
McGuire's not in there. I actually like.
No, not McGuire, but all the big guys.
I like Danny Jansen at 2-2. And the reason why I was asking if maybe it was a popularity thing, because they are tied with Minnesota for the highest total on the slate. Chicago right behind them, right? So maybe we're thinking that the White Sox come in a little bit lower owned. I don't know. I think the prices will keep some people off of them for that very reason, that they're trying to fit in Peralta and Morton. Maybe they're trying to get that, what I think is going to be the chalk pairing, right? Peralta and Morton. And if you go different from that, and different by saying maybe you go down to Zach Thompson, maybe you go up to Cole and down to Maeda. I don't know. I'm just talking about different pairings here. Then it becomes easier, because there are some cheaper options in the outfield. You got that we'll talk about here in a minute. But I don't know. I do like the only shortstop I'll add to Travis's list is Bo Bichette. I do think this is a pretty good spot for the Blue Jays.
So the thing that you mentioned that I want to talk about is, like, if you do the spend down for like cheaper pitcher route, that means you don't have to go to a Danny Jansen, right? And I think a lot of people might jam Danny Jansen into their Blue Jay stacks. Like if you looked at like 100% of the Blue Jay stacks, how many have Danny Jansen? I feel like a lot will, because they feel like they need to save salary. And that's like one small way to make your Blue Jay stacks really different if you're already going with that cheap spend down pitcher route. Now, I'm currently not a fan of that, but if you're a viewer watching and you think that's a good approach, and I know some people at RPS are, that's something that I would definitely be doing, I think. And like Big T's talked about it a ton, right? Like feel free to play like a Gurriel or a Grichuk at that bottom of that lineup, right? Because even when they were chalk, you got like Grichuk at 5% one day. I think he said on one of the final countdown shows with Holden and JSU. So that's a great way to be different with some of those bottom of the order guys.
Okay, boys, hit the like button. Boys and girls, hit the like button. Let's get going. We got good mojo today. Everything's going well. I love Donnie Johnson too. You talk about Big T always makes fun of me with my Danny Jansen call. I love Danny Jansen. I think JSU's on him too. Reminder, best ball content. It started. Simon already put out. Yeah, Simon the producer knows the shit when it comes to best ball. Him and Bobby Gomes, they already put a video out, and guess what? We will be doing a lot more. We're gonna get Simon, JSU, and myself will be doing some best ball content. So I'm looking forward to that. If you guys play best ball, let's go. Let's go to the outfield. Jay Tizzle, JT. Outfield, is this just part of your stacks? I mean, there's some guys with the White Sox we can get into. It's just the teams that you like at this point. Maybe a one-off at 3-4 on DK is Brian Goodwin, who has just been murdering the baseball. Here's another one, Sheets, Goodwin. You know what? You could probably go 3 guys from the White Sox outfield in your stack at this point. What do you got, JT?
Yeah, Sheets and Goodwin, definitely. The Minnesota guys you talked about, right? Kepler at 3.8, Trevor Larnach at 2.9. Again, really good matchup here against Brad Keller. Tyler Naquin, who also hit a home run yesterday, but Tyler Naquin is 3.3 against Kyle Hendricks. That's not a bad spot. Eddie Rosario for Cleveland. It's against Greinke, and I'm probably, we didn't even talk about Greinke from a pitching perspective. I think Greinke is a guy that you could probably play at 8.2 if you wanted to pay down a little bit in this matchup. But I like Eddie Rosario today. Fran Mail is back. That's interesting. So Maybe not. Maybe I'm talking myself off that. But Eddie Rosario been one of the hottest hitters here over the last couple of weeks. He's just 3.5. You've got we talked about the fact that you can play Bryant in the outfield. And then if you're stacking the Blue Jays, a guy that I always play against left-handed pitching when I'm playing them is Lourdes Gurriel. And he's hitting 8th, which you don't love, but he's 3.6, which you do. And he and Grichuk, 7 and 8 in that order, like Travis said, they're going to come in much lower owned than the top of that order. And guys like Springer and Teoscar, who are good plays, but cost you 1K more. So those are some guys. You got Pham leading off at 5.1. He's expensive for the Padres. But yeah, I think the White Sox, Blue Jays, Twins guys and maybe the Reds are guys that I'm going to focus on here in the outfield.
All right, Travis, let's do it, dude. Outfield.
Yeah, so, I mean, we talked about the Padres earlier. If you're doing the stack, right, don't ignore some of these outfielders, right? Don't ignore a Trent Grisham in that smaller ballpark or like a Tommy Pham. On the Brewers, like Avisel Garcia is definitely a great outfield option. You get Tyrone Taylor for cheaper, which I don't mind against the lefty, and Tyler Anderson. One guy on FanDuel specifically that's like too cheap, and I know it's not the sexiest matchup, is like, sure, against Robbie Ray, you don't love it, but Randy Arozarena, 3.2K on FanDuel, right? Like that's a very cheap price tag for him. So if you're looking at some one-offs, we know Robbie Ray can give them up sometimes, and I don't love the Blue Jays pen too. So that's a guy on FanDuel specifically. That could be an interesting one-off option. Astros outfielders, they're cheap. If you're doing the stacks, mixing those guys throughout your lineups makes sense. White Sox wise, I mean, Brian Goodwin's in the 4-hole, right? Like some Brian Goodwin here, Andrew Vaughn, Gavin Sheets, and even Adam Eaton. Like Adam Eaton in that 7-hole, he's a guy that people just might ignore. And the price tag is kind of cheap for Adam Eaton right now. So don't ignore that. On the Cubs, I talked about Chris Bryant. JT mentioned it, right? You can throw Chris Bryant in the outfield so you can play some Patrick Wisdom, BVP or not. We got Jake Marisnick as a cheap option and Ian Happ, right? Those are two guys. When I look at stacks, I try to look who can I make as my difference maker, right? Like, so if I am playing the Cubs, I think Ian Happ might be a guy I go to. Now, I could throw him at second base if I want to, but I look for these guys towards the bottom of the lineup to be difference makers, and Ian Happ might be one of those guys that ends up there. If I do stack up the Reds, Winker, Castellanos, Naquin, it's hard to ignore them. In my red stacks, I want to have those outfielders. I don't want to just be playing infielders only. And then, I think maybe Acuna is like the last guy that I'll mention there, and nothing else. I mean, I get the Twins, Nelson Cruz, you can always play, but I think there's better spend of outfielders on the slate. So those are all the outfielders I'm kind of looking at.
Go back real quick. We got a guy in chat saying we didn't mention Willy Adames. Did neither one of you mention Willy Adames? That's MJ. He's the best shortstop play on the slate, donkeys. So donkeys, do we need to go back in time and revisit Willy Adames, or our lives are going to be okay without him?
So
he has been mashing.
JT, you go first and I'll explain why. I kind of mentioned him, but you go first, JT.
Yeah, I mean, is he the best shortstop play on the slate on paper, right now? No, not really. I mean, they've got a surprisingly low run total. I think that's partially the park. I think it's partially the fact that Tyler Anderson, although he's been bad, I expect that he'll pitch a little bit better here in this matchup. I think the bottom of that lineup is a little bit lacking for the Brewers. I don't think he's a terrible play. He's just not someone that I'm prioritizing today. There are times when I look to prioritize him when he's up close to 5K. He could go off, but it's just I would rather pay the higher prices on the other shortstops that we talked about, like a Bo Bichette or a Tim Anderson, or even a Polanco. To be honest, I just think they're in better spots as a whole.
16 more likes for plays of the day. So you got about 3 or 4 minutes.
Hold it. I want to mention MJ in the chat. He says, bet they didn't mention Avisel Garcia. Well, I did mention him, and I think the best way to do the Brewers today, Holden, I don't think you want a 5-man stack, right? I think you want to, if you're building out your Brewers or your teams, you want to make them your secondary. You either make them 3 at most, 2, or just as a one-off, right? Like if you're building out a team and you do a 5-2-1 stack, right? Willy Adames as that one-off is fine. Avisel Garcia as that one-off, he's fine. Or maybe put 2 of them in there, and that's part of the 5-2. That's kind of the way I think I'd approach the Brewers today. I wouldn't just be ignoring them, but I think they're more of a secondary stack, not a primary stack, because I don't love like 5 on that team today.
There's something, and it's something that we were talking about, not on one of the shows, but a couple of the coordinators were talking about this week. We saw big spike in temperature in the beginning of the week, then it cooled down in most of the country, right? So it's 74 degrees in Pittsburgh, 75 in Philly, and 70 degrees in Buffalo, where that Toronto game is, right? Where the White Sox play, it's 88 degrees with the wind blowing out. The Chicago-Cincinnati game is 90 degrees with the wind blowing out. Kansas City game, 86 degrees with the wind blowing out. So it's weather is not the only factor, but I think it's a factor where you look at that and you look at the matchups and you say, well, this is why I think the ball will fly a little bit more. And honestly, worse pitching matchups, better pitching matchups for the opposing teams in those environments as well.
Okay, so here's the deal. What did I say? 200 likes. We're 8 away. We're going to give stacks really quick. And then if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I think you'll get to. I have confidence in you. And yeah, MJ was the guy that was upset at us about Adames, and then he called Garcia, Vagisil Garcia. Very disrespectful, Travis. Very disrespectful to the man, Avi Garcia. So, and us, to be honest with you. But I don't care. It's an Independence Day. I'm in a better mood now. Travis, 2 stacks. Who are your 2 stacks today besides for the White Sox?
Yeah, so I'll give the chat credit and like the likes. They've done a great job, right? I mean, we set some hard standards, but they're definitely coming through. Stacks, I mean, White Sox, obviously number 1. I know you said don't mention them, but I have to mention them because I don't want to be disrespectful to them. And then also I'll say, I mean, I like that Cubs and Reds game. That's definitely a game that I'm looking to target, but I think I like the Cubs side the most. And then I'm going to add one more in there. I think JT brought up some really good points with the Blue Jays. I don't want to ignore them. I'm going to give them a second look on trying to give them stronger consideration. I feel like, JT, I talked to you about this a little the other day. Like, sometimes I feel like I target some pitchers that maybe I shouldn't, right? And I don't know if I'm for sure doing that in that Reds game. Like, Wade Miley's been really good this year, and Kyle Hendricks has been better too. So I want to give the Blue Jays another second look because, again, you and I discussed this, and I felt like a donkey for not playing Toronto the other day, and I really liked them. I mean, I'm not scared of Yarborough and that bullpen for Tampa Bay because since the sticky substance, they've been really down. And maybe this is something that we need to be ahead on the curve on and continue to target. So my 4 stacks are White Sox, Cubs and Reds, and then the Blue Jays right now.
JT?
Yeah, so I like the White Sox as well. I like Minnesota maybe a little more than Travis does. I think it's hard to, you talk about picking on pitchers who've not been good, and Brad Keller fits that mold. The Blue Jays against Yarborough, and then for the 4th one, I'm probably not going to full stack this, but 2 places where I'm going to look for one-offs are the Padres in that game against Vince Velasquez, and then the Reds against Hendricks. I would rather pick on by the numbers. The numbers suggest you should focus more on the Reds against Hendricks than the Cubs against Miley, although I can't argue with Chris Bryant being a good one-off in that lineup, or Wisdom, the 2 power guys there.
Listen, we got like 4 minutes left. We're going to hit 200. Nuggets just said he's giving away a week of RPS access to non-members. I think we should do that during the week, Nuggets. You're the man. I know where you are, pal. I know where you are. Don't worry about it. We can't do that anyway. So we'll take care of that another time. How about this? I will DM you, Nuggets, and we'll go talk about that. Okay. We'll try and get that this week. Plays of the day, you're at 199. You got about 5 seconds to hit 200, and then everything goes to hell. Okay.
No, they'll get it. But JT, just so you know, I was called the creep on this show, but Holden just said he knows where Nuggets is. So I mean,
he's in the Discord.
Oh, I gotta wait. We have to clarify this. I did not call you creepy. I would never do that to you. I made a joke and an analogy, and people ran with it like they do. And while, yes, sweet but creepy Travis and the sweet but creepy play of the day is kind of funny, that is absolutely not what I meant. I don't want you to take it that way. Sweet Travis, I would never do that. I would never do that.
Sometimes, JT, you know what I mean? You got to stay on brand for the show, and then just that's how it is sometimes.
All right, let's get to the plays of the day. You did it. Seriously, if we get 1,000 views on a July 4th show, I know we're doing something right. And I think we'll probably be close to that. Over 200 likes on a July 4th show. I'm proud of you guys. Even the ones that I don't like, which I think it's only one guy and I don't even remember who it is. The rest of you I love. JT, Eiffel Tower, play the day.
Yeah, I mean, man, there's a lot to choose from here, honestly, just because of the way that these lineups break down. But I'm gonna do something I normally don't do, and it's pick a guy that is a favorite of one of our other beloved coordinators, Draft Sheet. Draft Sheet, we know, big Minnesota Twins fan. Huge Minnesota Twins fan. A day doesn't go by where he doesn't play a Twins lineup. But he's right on this kid, and I like the lineup spot. And I like the matchup, and I think Trevor Larnach at 2.9 is going yard today. Easy against Keller. Maybe a couple.
All right. Travis, I got to get to the bet side, so let's make it real quick. Sweet and creepy play of the day, dry hump play of the day, visor play of the day. I don't give a damn what it is. Give me a winner, dude. I'm going to play him.
Yeah, you told me to make it quick, and then you mentioned like 1,000 different things on the play, but we're going to keep it short, simple, and sweet. Jose Abreu, not one, but 2 homers today, Holden. 2 homers for Mr. Jose Abreu. 1 against Matt Manning, 1 against the Tigers bullpen.
Man, you know what, dudes? I'm going to have to hop on the Monday. We got a show tomorrow. I don't know what the free show is, but a couple of guys have just hit me up in DM and said they want to give like staking subscription. So stay tuned. Get here tomorrow during the show. I might just pop in and give something away because I got nothing else to do tomorrow either. Just, it's my day off, but I got nothing to do. So how about we do that? You don't need to worry about my play of the day. Boats and hoses. It's too chalky. It's Jose Abreu, and we're done. Okay.
Did I just say Jose Abreu?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's my play too. So that's why I didn't go into it. No graphics, no nothing. Honestly, I wasn't listening. I was reading these DMs. So there. JT, tell the people to hit the like button on the way out, RPS Heater 25, and then tell Simon to get us out of here, please.
Yeah, hit the like button once again, just in case you didn't, or even if you did, just actually don't, because that'll be a dislike. And enjoy the 4th. Stay free, run pure.
Dislikes are fine, and you got to tell Simon to do something.
Simon, let's go. Roll us.